streaming on a Friday? What is this? This doesn't happen too often now, does it? Hello, welcome everybody to the stream. Happy Friday to everybody. If there's some sort of Black Friday shenanigans you're getting involved with, please be safe, of course. But good to see everyone once again here on Friday. Why am I streaming on Friday? Well, honestly, just because I can. The bandwidth is here today, the opportunity is here, and I felt like streaming one more time here today. Of course, plenty to talk about, plenty to do once again as well, which is definitely helping the reason why I wanted to stream here today. We do have, of course, the Illuvium Pro League. Their grand finals, at least the first week of it, starts tomorrow. We'll see that on Saturday and Sunday. And then we'll also be doing a little bit of Overworld runs. Maybe one or two similar to what we did on Wednesday. Hop into ranks for a little bit after that, then hop into Illuvium 0. But the Illuvium 0 game plan at least changed up a little bit because thankfully, when we did our scanner on Wednesday, when we sent them off, the next day when I checked it on Thursday, we did end up finding the Monarch. So that was the last one that we needed in our collection for all Tier 3 biodata. We have finally got it. Easily one of the best looking Tier 3s, probably one of the best looking Illuvials, period, in the game, is now ours, and I cannot wait to start making skins here for Monarch eventually. But it is going to be a process, of course, because still have to get the blueprints, have to actually find Monarchs, which, to be fair, I think I have maybe one right now in my collection, and its stats are terrible. So I need to find some more Monarchs. And then get all my scanners now up to level 4. So we'll see if we can manage to snag any blueprints here today. But in terms of scanner progress, other than my Tier 5 scanners, I have one on each plot. We might not find anything new, but that's okay, as we continue to save some fuel up for the scanner upgrades. Now, of course, one of the big things happening, again, is just the Illuvium Pro League's Grand Finals happening this weekend. I'm very, very excited. I have the list of players that are going to be competing, or that have qualified into this one. Let's hop on over one more time. Flashbang here with this sheet. Slight little cold, so a little bit of coughing here today, so I apologize for that. Hopefully I'm on the gun for the mutes. But starting things off, of course, like, Fury's had an incredible final portion of that IPL season. The 2 IPL 1000 wins are absolutely humongous. Good to see them take the first spot, but I'm officially a very, very good season as well. And same thing with everybody, so I'll just go through the list here. Like Fox Spirit, no surprise. Web 3, while the later stages of the IPL may have been a little bit harder, their beginning was so good that it's going to be putting them up there. Of course, we've got Slooper, we've got Sota, we've got Narkesh, Slicks, Not Complain. Well, he's Nariba, Maru, Lynx PQP, Hollow Hype. We have Ole Detective Valenay, Zico Parico, Ole Gazera, Moo Hype, Jonakino from Sura, Orc 1 from Guild, Wolverine 777 from Hype, Coolagas Hype, Selfless from Guild, Luix from Guild, Fancy Pants from Atlas, Lemko from Atlas. We got Hasu, Kiribasov, Alnert from Phantom, My Nostalgia going to be getting in this as well. Nefer Hype in here, Ole's Frodo, Decline from Guild, Stegen Hype. There we go, Stegen. That's actually pretty incredible. Just consistently doing, I believe, like top 16s at a lot of these IPL events, scoring them into the, scoring them into the 33rd spot. So let's go Stegen. Good to see them make it in there. Hoshi's going to get there as well. Thanatos Hype. Good to see them there, of course, as well. Good to see everybody, don't get me wrong. There's nobody that I'm mad to see making it into this list, don't get me wrong. So, there's Aaron from Phantom. We do have Axel from Apex. Drudo from LMBR. Zabrojson does make it in here as well. Lukitz from Sura. Anubis, one of the old-timers, Syndicate member, making on in. Patch Tourist Hype gonna make it. AI Blaze Hype. Then Ole's The Show. Then we've got 2 from Sura. We've got Unhappy and Bad Borges making it on in there and squeaking in at the very last little bit after a final great push. Squawk and then McCrowan all making it from IPL. 3 more actually made it from IPL as well. Excuse me. But Ponier going to be making it in there from Team LMBR. CFGD, my goodness, making it in at the last possible moment. Woo! They make it on in. Then FRK Phantom, the last one from the IPL qualification side of things. But of course, we did have the final call tournament as well that did just take place last weekend. And we got a few more players to make it on in here. Balance was doing quite well in that. Aki as well. Well, everybody who's in final call, to be honest, kind of cut the crap. Everybody did good if you're in this final call qualification spot. Karika from Guild. Texan Hype going to be able to make it in here. Very nice. Alongside Jim Rat, Gaba, GM Phoenix, Star Atlas, which I think is actually another game. So that's kind of odd that we're calling out another game during our World Finals, but it is what it is. We've got Ole Haas, Ole Formiga, Krisen Hype, and then Klebson Robson, the last one to squeak in there. Holy moly. Good to see. So awesome. Congrats to all the players. Looking forward to seeing how you compete in this World Championship starting this weekend. But that being said, there's also the backup spot. So God forbid somebody can't actually make it. Patat and Style from Hype, Dr. Spoon, Subek from Sura, Ika, and Ole's Hiroku. Stay on guard because you very well might get an opportunity to play anyway if anybody actually doesn't show up. So excuse me. All hope is not lost here. And of course, I try to stay very, very neutral. I basically root for everybody. I'm never not wanting to see somebody do well. But I have a little bit of biases here today. So who do I want to see do extremely, extremely, extremely well here today on this weekend? First off, I do want to see Slooper do quite well. The idea of the Teamfight Tactics players coming on into Illuvium and then doing very, very well is definitely an interesting storyline, and I want to see a little bit more of it. But I also love the aspect of the Illuvium veterans then defending against the Teamfight Tactics players and then shutting them down. However, Slooper, at least from the interviews and then from how he is on stream and whatnot, seems like such a chill dude, and I really want to see him do very, very well. And then the next couple all have something in common. First off, Sota. I'm gonna pick you. Zico Perico. I'm gonna pick you. Let's see, quickly go through the list again. Stegan, I'm picking you. Anybody else? CFGD, I'm picking you. And Texan, I am picking you. What do all of these players have in common? I've seen you in my chats. And I am going to sing your praises now that you've made it into the grand finals as best as possible. I'd be singing your praises anyway. Don't get me wrong, but you have been in the chats more often than not, and I definitely thank you for joining here. Or when I'm talking about in the chats, I'm talking about specifically my chat. I've seen a bunch of these people, a bunch of these players in the Illuvium chat when we do streams and whatnot. But for those in particular that I did have highlighted, I kind of clicked off of them now. But big thank you for tuning into the stream here with me and just hanging out. And with that, I will absolutely be pulling for you to have a fantastic finish here in this grand final. There's one thing that's kind of concerning for me, though. And I know we joked on the stream about the commentators are the ones getting the wild cards, so they're the that's actually or that is that going to happen? No, I don't think that's actually going to happen by any means. At least if it is, I've not been contacted about it. But where are the wild cards? There were supposed to be, I think, what, 3 or 4 spots for wild cards, and I know the intention was to give them to professional players from other games. So, like other Teamfight Tactics players, or maybe even other players from other esports. But the problem is, it sounded like even up until, I think Paz made a post yesterday or the day before, up until then, it sounds like they're still looking for players. So even right now, like I don't see anything about the wild card at all on this sheet. And then just from general conversations, I've not seen anything about the wild card. I'm not necessarily internal, so I'm not sure if there is some sort of plan, but if there is some sort of plan, the way that I would have envisioned it, if you're going to get a pro player from another game, in theory you market the hell out of that, right? So, for example, I'll use myself as an example just because I don't want to use names of other people, but let's say that I was a professional player in, say, Teamfight Tactics, and I had a fan base that would follow me. If Illuvium were to pick me up, I would expect that, one, they would, as a player, if Illuvium were to pick me up, like, I would expect that they would be making a post saying that I would be a part of the wildcard, for example, and get an engagement post off of that. 2, maybe a little bit of an interview kind of segment made with said player, saying like how they're excited to come into this new game and try to take the prizing or something along those lines. Would probably like want something like that. And then this way, like, continue to hype up this with all of your wildcard players so that you're getting the outside influence. But I believe as of right now, we still don't even know who the wild cards are. And even if Illuvium does know who the wild cards are in this instance, I would have expected, like, all that stuff that I was talking about, that's a week-long worth of social media and promotion. We have less than a day. It's less than 24 hours now. No matter what, it's going to feel a little bit rushed, unfortunately, whoever you end up getting. And no matter what, because I'm not going to have all the social media promotion and like the lack of segments, I cannot help that any pro that they pick up right now is just here for the payday. And that would make me very, very sad. So I'm a little bit flustered, or not flustered, like I'm not angry or anything along those lines, but just definitely a little disappointed at the missed opportunity that we could have had. And heck, maybe people just weren't available. I know the date essentially, I think, got changed once because of a Teamfight Tactics tournament. Illuvium tried their damnedest, but might just not have been in the cards this time. Or we'll get a last-second announcement of sorts, probably within the next couple hours or so. Just watch. As soon as I go offline, there'll be an announcement of, hey, here's your wild cards with videos. Which, the day of is still a bit rushed, but it would still have all the content that I was looking for. Of course, not meant to be a shot at anybody or any sort of Illuvium staff members, any sort of marketing or anything along those lines. It's just the way that I had it envisioned in my mind. Not trying to cuss anyone out. One of the things that was, though, talked about on social media was actually this post here in regards to the playtest with the MMO. So, all of you Overworld purists, keep an eye out because, and maybe reach out, because they might be looking at you for the playtest. Yeah, top 100 over... you could see the college esports coming out. I was about to say top 100 Overwatch players. top 100 Overworld players. Heads up, you might get tapped for the upcoming playtest. And fair enough, I mean, I'd be very, very happy to see that. Get the people that have put so much time into the Overworld as it stood as is. Give them a chance to test it out, that'd be absolutely phenomenal. I know personally I would love to get a spot as well. However, I know I am definitely not top 100. I struggle to even leave stage 1 of the Overworld. I thought it was super, super easy. I thought I was, like, feeling myself a little bit yesterday. I went to a stage 2 run, and I got super, super excited because I had a hollow rake with maybe at least 80% stats. It was right there in front of me, but I got greedy. I wanted 2 shots to try and catch it. I got killed in the encounter. A hollow good rake. Unfortunately, not going to be joining my squad. That hurt. That definitely hurt, and that is the second hollow 80+% stat alluvial that I've lost out on because I tried to get 2 shots at capturing it. Definitely got humbled once again. And with that, that's why we're going to jump into Overworld later and try to catch some more. But I'm not going to be making a push for the top 100. I'm definitely not that strong. Yeah, any of you top 100 players, definitely keep an eye out and reach out, because the playtest might be there in your future. In terms of news, that's basically it for now. I'm going to quickly double check and see if there's anything else interesting from the Illuvium X account here. In terms of news, the one thing I do like, actually, this little profile thing that they just posted about an hour ago. And get to know the Illuvials a little bit more. But I found it really funny, where they're saying, okay, Grok, go away. Okay. But, yeah, Fury doesn't see you coming. It feels you through the sand. So, is this, like, canonically a reason why Furies and Scorioxes or whatever, when they shoot at air units, they always miss? Because air units, in theory, are as light as air, so they don't make that much rumbling on the ground. So, the only way Fury can defend itself is by doing a little bit of a spray and pray. Part of me likes to think so. But I thought it was cool. I like these little journals. Without further ado, we'll slowly but surely get on in to the Overworld. I want to do, let's see, I want to be into the arena by about 11 o'clock, so I've got about 40 minutes. We can probably take our time with one Overworld run. There's nothing in particular that I'm aiming for today. I know the last couple times we hopped into the Overworld, I was looking for Axodons in particular. While I was playing offline, I was able to find the one more that I needed. So, that part is all good, said, and done. But if I do find Axodons, I might still pick it up for when I inevitably find more drone skins. I'll still need to get 3 more Axodons in that regard. But after getting smoked with that hollow rake incident, I'm trying my best to level up a team, not for arena, but just level up a team for Overworld usage, or for, eventually, MMO usage. And hopefully, maybe I can sneak into a Stage 3 run sometime before Overworld becomes the MMO. I know for somebody who's been in Illuvium as long as I have, the fact that I've not gone into there and done it is surprising. But I've just always enjoyed Stage 1 runs, and I've always felt a little bit better, like, in terms of the fuel costs, because I think the fuel cost for Stage 3 is borderline about 10 bucks Canadian right now. And I know that, like, shard-wise, capture-wise, I always had a hard time having enough resources. So I always just kind of stuck to Stage 1 runs instead. But it's what I have fun with. pop it on into Illuvium here in just a second. Here we are. Double check audio. Yep, we're good. I did my shards earlier, but to take a look, I swapped my team around a little bit. Originally, I had just a couple of alluvials that I was just trying to level for the sake of leveling. But I swapped up a bit of everything. All of my alluvials that I'm going to be leveling here today are some sort of hollow. I just found this guy yesterday, the Lesser Monk here, Dark Hollow, but its stats are trash. But I'm still going to level it up anyway. I would love to be able to eventually go into the MMO and just start smacking walls with it or something like that. So, I'm going to keep that. I've got my Rip Lance, of course, as well. My Glass Cannon is here. My Riley, again, similar scenario. I just want to have a hollowed out Riley. Riptor. Let's go from right to left here. So this Caradulo I'm actually really, really proud of. It's very, very good with 4 perfect stats. I wish it had a little bit more resistance, then it would be truly perfect in my eyes. But almost there. Axodon, not too terrible. Could be a little bit better, but the fact that it's hollow is still enough for me. Because, of course, I rather the collection aspect first. The stats portion to me is second. In terms of the alluvials, so as to where we're going to go this time, so if I were to take a look at my sheet here, I still have it pulled up somewhere. Goes down. If I take a look at my sheet, I know this is the same one as my 0, but down at the bottom I have hollows and collection. Of tier 1s, I have all tier 1 alluvials, but in terms of finding something hollow, what am I missing? I'm missing a Sepphoris, a Greater Monk Ear, the Exalted Apon and Grilla, Caradulox, and Archelion. I think our run today, then, especially since I'm also looking for just a Malura in general, not hollow, I just want any Malura. To give myself the best possible chance here, I think we go to Crimson Wastes. Now, Crimson Wastes, it's my favorite in terms of the aesthetic, but it is my most hated in terms of actually flying around and traveling around. As somebody who hates platformers, there is a lot of jumping and a lot of going from platform to platform that I have to do, and it really makes me a little bit furious every time I try to farm here. But I love the aesthetic of this place, though. The acid-like water and whatnot just looks really, really cool to me. But let's take a look and see what we got here. Okay. First off, the rock, that's seismic quartz, I'm not too worried about that. Let's start from the top. So up in the corner, it's a Cuculus, Chuko. The Lynxes I'll keep an eye out as well. I just need an abundance of Lynxes, and I don't have a good one yet. So if nothing else, I might take a look at that. Coral, no thank you. A Hollow Railu, I'll definitely take a look at that. Nothing from the rest of these. Let's hop on over by the rock. Greater Ampon. TB Ruko, I need those for skin purposes. I have a relatively decent one. Another Hollow Railu. Interesting. Beaverus, Grilla, Coral. Archie's found its way out to the wastes, apparently. A Dark Hollow to Tofi! Okay, we're definitely going for that. That is incredible. That is my second Dark Hollow in 2 days. When in the past, I've gone years without finding, or only finding one. That is incredible. So we're 100% going to be going for that Dark Hollow to Tofi. I Exalted Apon. I need one of those just for the sake of skins. Take a look at these ones on the inside. And I think the rest of these I've done. So, okay. The rest we might just shoot at rocks if we don't have much that I'm looking for here. But 100% we are going for that Dark Hollow to Tofi right off the rip. Of course, everybody can laugh at me as I proceed to face plant up against every rock imaginable here in this place. And of course, as always, regardless of which platform you're on, I do have the chats open and available. Any sort of comment, question, doesn't even have to necessarily be Illuvium related. By all means, you're more than welcome to stop by and say hi. Drake, welcome back. How's it going? Good timing. Hope you're having a great day so far today. The Dark Hollow to Tofi right around the corner. I want this thing. I used to have a Dark Hollow to Tofi, but I say used to because I got greedy one day. I tried to use it to get a Dark Hollow Tianti. It did not go in my favor. I will not make that mistake again. Granted, its stats were a little lackluster, but again, stats aren't the be-all end-all. I want the collection. Take down the Tofi. Let's get this thing. I will not screw around with this one. We are going to lock it in. Tier 2 shards right off the rip. I just want to make sure that it is captured. Any good Illuviums or Illuvials so far, and all's good? Glad all's good. This is our very, very first run. And very first encounter, which is me chasing this Dark Hollow to Tofi. If I can see the stats, actually, let's see. And it's actually not even that bad. Okay. As my son would say, Dad, lock in. It is time to secure this thing. Okay, what? At least it's just the empath. Let's see. Iridulo, you can join me. Let's see. In terms of damage, do I just go with the Rip Lance and call it there? It's only a 30 cast, so I can actually add one more thing just to add a little bit of extra security. Maybe give myself a cheap weapon. Add on to fighters. Maybe we'll bring Monk here. Gives me 2 shots. I should be able to kill him, right? See, I'm so torn now because I've been always trying to go to the point where I can get 2 shots to try and catch something. But that's also what's killed me a few times. Maybe I give myself a bit of a better weapon. That's about as high as I can go. Alright. Come on. I imagine Rip Lance should be able to just pull through here, and everybody else is just a meat shield. Like, that's how scarred I am. This was easily overkill, but because of what's happened the last couple of days, I'm so nervous about it still. Let's get that lesser monk here. Dark Hollowed. Leveled up a bunch. I'll check the stats of the other ones as well, just to see. I mean, that Atlas isn't terrible, but we're going for this guy. This beautiful thing right here. We got 2 shots to get it at a 97% chance to catch. Please, Hilda, don't fail me now. Come on, buddy. Just finish the job, please. Please, please. There we go. That is what I like to see. Take a look at this beauty right here. Dark Hollow to Tofi. Maxed out on HP. Lots of resistances. A decent amount of attack. But almost perfect Omega power as well. I absolutely love this thing already. I will actually probably put it on my team the next time I go back to Sancta Mesa. It doesn't have much attack speed, but it is what it is. It's all about the pop for the Tatofi anyway. It's all about the Omega. And that is a huge win to start off the day. There we go. And of course, that isn't even just the only hollows in this run. I'm spoiled here today. That's the only Dark Hollow with this one. The only Dark Hollow. Just finding a Dark Hollow to begin with is incredible. But there are 2 Hollow Railus in this run here as well. I believe the first one's over here. There it is. Yeah, we're going to go for this one. A little bit of a ways away. Face plant up against the rock as usual. Pass by the T-Roo real quick. Trick shot. Thank you. Since I have all these blueprints coming out, I do want to try and pick up a couple of these morphopods. And hope that they don't run away from me too badly. I'm not going out of my way for them, but if I see them, I'll gladly shoot them. Okay, right around here somewhere should be our first Hollow Railu. I think I just found him right around the corner. Railu in its natural habitat. Here in the wastes. There it is. I'll take him down here in just a second. There we go. I'm very, very interested because I do have a relatively decent Hollow Railu right now. But I would love to get one better. And before we start this encounter, I almost even forgot. Let's see, so Tatofi, Dark Hollow, check. There we go. My last live stream did have a ton of tech issues, and I definitely do apologize for that. I had the internet go out once, I had the power go out once, and then I had a OBS crash. So, a lot of things were crumbling down on me on that stream. Stream-wise and literally that day. But so far, knock on wood, knock on the bench that I'm sitting on right here, right now, all is good. Normally streams are not that tech issue. That was easily the worst stream I've had in terms of tech issues. Okay, let's take a look and see now what we have. So, little Tatofi, nothing to write home about. Good damage here from the monk here, but I'm not going to worry about it. Not bad on this Railu, actually. Max health, max resistance, max damage, and a little bit of move speed, a little bit of Omega power. That's not terrible. So I'm absolutely going to capture this thing. Let's see, very, very similar in nature. Let's get Caradulo to lead the charge. Monk here, I'd love to give you some experience. Riptor, I'd love to give you some experience. But this does put me way below having 2 shots. So I'm going to take my water sword, trade it for the earth one. This gives me 50, which is just enough to get 2 shots. For a stage 1 with just energy regen, yeah, I think we're okay. Famous last words, or am I cooking? We'll see here in a second. Good, the Caradulo doing exactly what it needs to do. Taunting everybody up. Yeah, we'll swarm on board. There we go. Oh, even Caradulo leveling up. Let's go. There's a Railu that I'm looking for. I will throw a tier 2 shard at it. 93% chance to take this Railu back to Sanctum Mesa here with us. 2 shots to do so. And we will, for sure, pick it up on the first try. Let's go. Railu is here now. Again, max health, max resistance, and max damage. Absolutely love to see it. If only it had attack speed, then it would be perfect in my eyes in terms of statistics. But it's okay, Railu. You're perfect for me anyway, so thank you. I'm glad it joined. Of course, that's not the only Hollow Railu in this run as well. I'm gonna go check out the other one. The one I just caught definitely set the bar pretty high here for this next one. But I do want TB Ruko as well, so I'm gonna make a quick pit stop over here. Since it's relatively close. Oh, I can't jump there. Sir, you can't park there. That's a bug. I'm so glad those don't actually take energy to catch anymore. Okay. My marker is saying that... Oh, it's right there in front of me. Excuse me. There it is, TB Ruko. That's Tofi's gonna give my positioning away, but of course it does not matter here in the Overworld. Maybe that'll be something in the Overworld MMO. Is that Lazarite? Might pick that up. Pick up some commons. And that's not Lazarite. Let's pick up this TB Ruko. Do I have a video in regards to evolving lower stage alluvials? I don't think I've actually made a fusion guide yet, now that you mention it. Well, thank you for the idea, because that's definitely something I should 100% do. Before I get into this encounter, I'm going to quickly throw it back over to my camera. I think I'm snowing a little bit on my green screen. Like some of the green is bleeding through. I'm just going to quickly make a small adjustment. And then get back into the game. There we go. Yeah, like I could show you how to do it when we get into Sanctum Mesa, but I should 100% have a video for that. That is 100% a good idea. Stats this time, TB Ruko, garbage stats, but that's okay. The TB Rukos that I need are specifically for skins, so I don't mind setting this one off to the burn, notice. Rye, not anything to write home about. Same thing with the T-Roo, so we'll quickly clean this one up, I'm sure. Once again, let's the Monkier get involved with the Riptor. And let's get Caribou some airtime here. Is the three of us able to take this down? I think we should be able to. Just let me give my guy a suit. And see if maybe I can tank first. But the Ranger literally launches like a rocket off the start here. So, there we go. TB Ruko does have a lot of HP, but with how many alluvials are splitting this up right now, let the Riptor tank for the first little bits, then the taunt comes through from Caribou. Splits the damage, nobody gets focused, and we can clean up the rest quite nicely. And especially Lesser Monk here absolutely needs that. Of course, the less alluvials you use in battle, the more each one gets. But of course, actually beating the encounter is kind of nerve-wracking as well. I'm going to use a common shard, because I'm not so concerned if I lose it on the tier 2. Try it first with the cheap one. Not going to get it this time. Now I'll use the tier 2. If it runs away, it runs away. I'm using this for skin fodder anyway. Looks like my green screen's still acting up a little bit, eh? We are going to be able to pick up the Tsibiruko anyway. Get ready for the skin collection. Definitely happy with that. One more time, throw it back to the camera. Because, yeah, okay, so it's when I lean over, it starts to okay. Let's trim that out. Am I see-through? Voice, I'm not hollow? Alright, very good. Okay. With Tsibiruko picked up, I can now change focus to my next alluvial, which I believe is way up here. That is where the Railu, and what are you over here? That's the Lynx. That's another one I want to pick up to try and see if maybe I can find myself a better Lynx. Because all of the Lynxes I have right now are rather lackluster. Here's a different Railu. Don't worry, buddy. We're not going after you here today. I try to traverse the tunnels and dive myself into the acid like an absolute boss. Sneak through here. Nope, I'm gonna go pinballing off everything. Bugs. Did actually pick that one up. Good, good. Riao, hello there. Did I just shoot a rock? Not even the good kind. I just might have. Oh, happy accidents. Finding ourselves another little achievement. Alright, there we go. Let's plant our teleporter here, just in case. There it is, the hollowed out Railu. Second one of the run. Let's open fire and get this thing locked down. And of course, the first hollow Railu did set the bar pretty high. Let's see if maybe we can find one to maybe beat it. The other one, of course, I believe it was perfect health, resistance, and damage. Oh, is that an Exalted Monk here as well? Brought a friend and brought a deadly one at that. The Railu actually has all the stats on the other side. This is a glass cannon Railu. Part of me is wondering if there's potential of maybe mixing the two and one more decent Railu to maybe get a really godlike Riley, but I'm counting my chickens a little bit early here. So I would want the water sword going up against all of these. The Exalted Monk here scares me. I cannot sleep on this thing. Just have one of my own ready to battle up against it. For the sake of hollowness, or not hollowness, but at the sake of super effectiveness. Let's get Caradulo. Let's get Riplance. That might be all that I can take with me. Or do I not trust this to actually job done? I mean, if I put these two on the same side and focus target, this might be good. Just a matter of the Exalted Monk here. Bring this back a little bit to buy my Alluvials a little bit more time to just destroy that Chuko real fast. I'd have to double check, so take this with a grain of salt. But when you fuse Alluvials, I believe each, like, it takes 3 Alluvials, and 3 of the stats that each Alluvial bring, or 3 stats that the Alluvials have, get transferred into the new Alluvial. So there's a little bit of a chance profession to like go along with that. This camera today, sorry, is bugging me. It's really driving me crazy here today. Oh, that's my head. There we go. Try that hopefully for the last time here today. So, like, say with my... Let me pull one up here. Here. So say with my Caradulo, for example. So it has the 6 different stats, of course, right? With health, attack speed, attack damage, omega, move speed, and resistance. It has all of the max, but when I put this into the fusion, because you need 3 of the same alluvial to evolve, 3 of the stats, I believe it's 3 anyway. I gotta double check it, but I'm pretty certain it's 3. 3 of the stats from each alluvial get put into the new evolved alluvial. So in a best case scenario, if I was using this Caradulo for fusion, I would get its health, I'd get its attack speed, and I'd get its attack damage. But there is always the chance that it ends up giving me its omega power, or its resistances, or its movement speed. So with you do that times 3 alluvials to try and get it. So optimally, the units that you, or the alluvials that you use for your fusion are as close to perfect as you can find, if you're going for stats. But if you just want to evolve it for the sake of evolving it, then you just need 3 of the same alluvial and a certain amount of experience, and you'll be in good shape. In terms of this fight at hand, I think we have enough, so let's take a look and see. Get through the Caradulo, and there we go. Rip lances right onto the Exalted Monk here. That was the one that I was scared about, and thankfully, the Rip Lance focusing the right targets. It doesn't necessarily choose the stats, though. Which stats it chooses is random. So any of the 6 for each alluvial can be picked. So even though you have perfect stats on 3 different stats, there's no guarantee that those are the ones that get passed down, if that makes sense. This Exalted Monk here is actually not terrible when it comes to attack speed. I might just pick it up just for the sake of picking it up, or actually, I wish I could check out my team. Can I check them out? No, I can't check them out right now. Shoot. Well, first off, let's pick up Railu. This will be the second holo Railu we found here today. Stats are arguably a little bit worse, but it is still pretty good in regards to damage. And we're going to pick it up right away here. Second holo Railu of the run is ours. And I think I'm going to take a stab at snagging the Monkier here as well. 2 for 1. Whip out the shard once again. It had a lot of attack speed, which for Monkier is absolutely critical. See if we can lock this down. We will end up snagging it, so there we go. Happy with that. And then I've got 1 more alluvial that I can catch. There is a little bit of RNG elements into it, yes. It's like a coin flip, but it's a 6-sided coin, basically, and then 3 of each stat move on. If that makes sense. My head was just see-through there for a second. My camera is making me so paranoid here today. So the last alluvial I think I had highlighted as something that I'd want to pick up is this Lynx. So we'll pick it up, and then we'll have a completed Overworld run. Snag you, and the Lynx is running from me. Lock it down. Just wonder if some bugs shooting at me. Ah, there you are. Alright. Yeah, I'll try and give an example here of a fusion in just a moment when we go back to Sanctum Mesa. And the Lynx is the one that I'm looking for here. Is its stats any good? Nope, it's just going to be skin fodder. That's okay, I still need plenty of Lynxes for the rest of the drones. I have 2 of the drone skins made. I still want the other 2 because Lynx, of course, my favorite alluvial, favorite animal in real life as well. Let's get the little guy out here alongside big ol' Riley. And we should be able to just turn our brain off and go for it here. How do I see Illuvium in 2026? So, I'm very, very interested, of course. I mean, of course, I'm not... I want to give a little bit of context, of course, just to kind of give my full perspective on it. Because, like, from the gamer side, I have a few different point of views here. Gamer-wise, I am still really, really looking for Illuvium to be more entertaining and more fun for me compared to Pokemon. I love Pokemon, but it's getting old. Even the Legends ZA or whatever, like, that doesn't interest me anymore. That would have been nice back on the PlayStation 2. But I want Illuvium and what they're doing here to continue to surpass that to me. Do also be advised that, yes, I do have some ILV token. I know I don't talk about crypto much, or I don't usually talk about it, but I'll do this here for the sake of context. I do hold ILV token, but have I actually spent money to get it? No. A lot of the payments that I get from doing the Illuvium Pro League broadcasts do end up being an ILV, and instead of selling it immediately, I just hang on to the long term. I just hold on. So yes, of course, oh, he wants it to be good so he can get his bags up. And it's like, no, I want to see this be the greatest game ever. If the token stays put at price, I am completely content with that. Yeah, like I say time and time again, I don't care about the crypto side of things. But then again, I also love the fact of the combo of games here. So having the Illuvials that I catch in the MMO / Overworld in this instance work in the arena, and then Illuvium Zero, the city builder, has some support to make your experience in the MMO, in arena, and Overworld better. All of that is what makes it super, super interesting to me. So where do I see Illuvium in 2026? I think it's probably going to be a huge spike of positivity. And why I say that is because, one, I believe we have the MMO playtest coming out in either December or January, based off of Town Hall and X posts. And with that, like, we kind of get our first glimpse of the MMO. Is the MMO going to be playable in 2026? I have absolutely no idea. Because I personally want to see them take as much time as possible to make sure not only is the launch great, but also having enough content, as this Lynx fights me here, but has enough content to actually sustain and compare to a World of Warcraft, to a Final Fantasy XIV. Because if this is just a matter of they launch with a leveling up and progression and one raid boss, and that's all we get for like half a year, that will die quickly. So I want to see them take as much time as possible. As we do pick up the Lynx. There we go, buddy. So the MMO part's going to be exciting. Second part that's going to be exciting for me personally is going to be Illuvium Zero getting the training gems. Because right now, leveling up your Illuvials is probably the hardest thing to do in terms of time commitment and in terms of skill. Like, I was just talking about a little bit earlier when we first started stream. I tried to hop into a stage 2 run of Illuvium Overworld, and I got completely humbled and destroyed. And going into those higher stage runs are the best way to level up, and it takes just a painfully long time. So having training gyms on my Illuvium 0 plots, where I can put in one of my Illuvials, or possibly one of my teammates or somebody else's Illuvial, level it up just over time, is something that would be a huge benefit for everybody. I know it would be a huge benefit for me if I ever wanted to play Leviathan, knowing that I had at least a couple of Illuvials close to a high level because I had them in the gym. And it opens more doors for me. And finally, the potential of mobile Illuvium Arena, just to increase the accessibility, because that's pretty much a staple here with most of the auto battlers in terms of getting its accessibility, like say Teamfight Tactics, for example. A huge portion of why they have a good player base, or a large player base, is because it has accessibility by mobile. So it opens up to more countries, especially in the East. So I'd absolutely love to see that. That would bring in more players, which should in theory bring in more interest to the entirety of Illuvium, which would be humongous. So I am very, very optimistic about 2026 for Illuvium in particular. And it's one of the driving forces that keeps me going here. Because I know right now, other than Illuvium Pro League over the last couple of months, it's not been, I won't call it a dry period, but it's been not a perfectionist period, not a refinement period, but what am I trying to think of? But it's been more so focused on polish, to say the least. Like, there was a lot of focus on Illuvium Arena, to the point where it's a very, very polished game. People can argue about balance or whatever, but that's fine, that's stuff that can be adjusted. But in terms of the gameplay itself, it's been pretty well polished. But that's also something that's been around for a while. It's old news and it's a niche audience. Going into 2026 here, with the MMO in particular, there's a lot of eggs in that basket. But I'm very optimistic about it, so I'm very, very optimistic about Illuvium in 2026. Now, for the example of a fusion, let me see if I have something that I can fuse right here, as an example. I have a Fleesh, maybe? Okay, so I can provide an example, I just can't actually go through with the fusion itself here. So of course, when we're here in Sanctum Mesa, just the plain gathering hub and whatnot, little platform here for fusion. So we go here, go to this spot. Up at the very top, it'll show you all of the Illuvials that you could possibly fuse based off having at least 3 of the prior evolution. So I use my tier 0s as an example here. I was taking a look at the Fleesh. So if I wanted to evolve a lesser Fleesh into a greater Fleesh, here's what I'd have to do. I have to have 3 of the same Illuvial. Just 3 of the same Fleesh in this instance here. Let's see, 1, 2, and 3, for example. You'll notice on the right-hand side that all of the stats, every single time I added in an Illuvial, its stats show up on the right-hand side here. So if I put in the 1, it shows that it has the coverage for those stats. I add in the bigger one, it kind of overlaps it. And then I can add one more, let's say this one here, for the last spot. So this, in a best case scenario, where all of the rolls happen in the best possible way, your stats for your greater Fleesh would look something like this, where you'd have the maxed out resistances, maxed out move speed, about 40% of the way, or plus 40% on your Omega power, max damage, plus 40% on your attack speed, plus 40% on your health. But that is not a guarantee, because with each of these Illuvials, it's, I believe, 3 of the stats that move on. So there's a chance, say here, from this Flish in particular, if I was banking on it giving resistances and move speed to the greater Flish, there's a chance, of course completely RNG, that it gives the Omega power, so it gives me nothing. Or it gives me the health, and it gives me the lesser of the buff. So there is a little bit of a chance. One thing to note that is also a chance, if you're trying to evolve a Hollow, and try to get it from a, say, my Hollow Fleesh into a Hollow Greater Fleesh. If you just have the one Hollow plus 2 non-Hollows, you'll notice in the very, very bottom right-hand corner, if I get out of the way here, it says 33% chance to get a Hollow. So you very well could do like what I have done in the past, where I had a Dark Hollow to Tofi, but then 2 non-Dark Hollows, and I lost my Dark Hollow because I did not get the RNG in my favor. So the best possible chance, if you want to go from Hollow to Hollow, use all Hollows. See, now that I have 3 Hollows here, 100% chance to get a Hollow. So this way, you can keep your Hollow finish. There is also experience necessary to level these things up. You'll see up in the top right-hand corner, I believe for going from a stage 1 to stage 2, you basically need 1 alluvial up to, say, level 20. All of them technically count. I know, at least personally, whenever I get 1 alluvial up to level 20, the other 2 can be level 1 and it's just fine. And then for stage 2 to 3, you need an alluvial that's at least level 40 in terms of experience. And then you also need 1 of the gems, 1 of the shards in your inventory. Those can just be picked up over here at the forge. They're usually pretty easy to get. You just go for a gemstone. It's just a matter of getting a fragment from the yellow rocks out in the overworld, plus some sanguine essence, which you just get from shooting plants. So you add that all together, and then you would end up getting your fusion. I don't have one that I'm willing to fuse at the very, very moment, but I hope that gives you a bit of an idea of what to look for. What will happen on the scarcity of in the MMO? So that, of course, is the interesting thing. From what it sounds like, set 2 of Illuvium is planned to kind of come out around the same time as the MMO drops. So in theory, all of set 1 that we're currently playing with here in the Overworld should either be much more scarce or straight up extinct. In theory. Again, grain of salt, nothing's truly been announced. It's more so just theory crafting from like town hall conversations and such like that. And again, I am not an Illuvium staff member, so I don't know anything on the inside. But in theory, set 2 comes out, and let's say my say my Caradulo. If I can't catch a Caradulo anymore, because set 2 is like the Caradulo of set 2 is a Earth type, maybe there's only certain team combinations that I can make with the Caradulo that's a water type that you can't catch anymore. So in theory, there could be some scarcity in that regard. I'm very curious as to how they will handle it, but I'm pleasantly optimistic. Ay, screen. A gloomy day today with the sun kind of coming out at times and then dipping back in. So I'm getting a mixture of snow on my green screen and then being see-through. So bear with me, my apologies. So my apologies there. Think of it this way. This will be the reverse of Pokemon. Because if how I see it and how I'm thinking about it is how they end up doing it, this will be reverse of Pokemon. Pokemon, yes, there's Gen 1. There's your Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charizard, right? But then going into Gens 2, Gen 3, let's be honest, they're still shoving Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charizard down your throat. They're getting special evolutions after the fact. They're still catchable in every single region. Imagine if Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander went completely extinct and you cannot catch them anymore. That is, in theory, I think the kind of route that they're going for, so that the only way that you can get one of those legacy set Illuvials is through another player by trade / the marketplace. So, it kind of like this is the first gen of Pokemon, but you won't be able to then catch it in the next generation. Kind of thing. It's at least how I'm thinking about it. Again, not an Illuvium employee, and this is definitely not something that is a for sure thing. But based off of conversations and town halls and stuff, I feel like this is kind of the route that they were going. But of course, do take it with a grain of salt. Oh, it's a new season. I did not even realize, but I see placement matches. I did not realize that we had ourselves a new season here in the arena, so perfect timing, I suppose. Get my placements done. Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping kind of ends up happening, because there's a few things that I'm hoping that happens. I'm hoping to, with all the focus around the MMO and like capturing your own Illuvials, that ownership of said Illuvials becomes just that much more important. I'm gonna dive in and basically catch our thing. Yeah, this is basically it. Like, say for example, my personal collection does not have a Malura. If I personally don't hunt now and catch a Malura, the only chance that I'm going to be able to get a Malura sometime in the future, if that new set comes out and they go extinct, is to get one off of another player via the marketplace. And let's be honest, players know that they're extinct. They're not stupid. They're going to know that people want this. So what are they going to do? Jack up the price on it. So, in terms of right here, right now, this isn't necessarily the most exciting time as an everyday player in terms of Illuvium, because there's not necessarily anything brand new. But the time that you're spending in the overworlds right here, right now, for example, building that collection, should hopefully set you up for success going into the future. Of course, nothing is a guarantee. And of course, by no means is that any sort of form of financial advice, but like, I'm very optimistic. Like, me going out into the overworld here today, finding those hollows, even some repeats, I am okay with, because I know possibly sometime down the road, I might not be able to find a hollow Railu anymore. So it's time well worth it for me. And take away like any sort of marketing or take away any sort of crypto side of things, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that they're mine. In terms of the game at hand here, so yeah, Crimson Wastes, where additional damage is done based off of current interest. So this, in theory, could be a very, very fast game. In my lobby, we've got Sword Art, we've got Trippin, Rookron, who always destroys me, so gonna definitely be looking out for them. We got Mordor, Snooze, 200 Ping Dream. That is the definition of my old playing games at my old parents' house. And then Illuvium Hunter, who I see quite often. I don't know what it is about Rookron, but they destroy me basically every single time I'm in game with them. They were a level up in that instance. Let's take a look and see what everybody else is going to end up running here. Snooze, as we got fire, water, one thing of earth, water, grass. Illuvium Hunter is waiting for me, I think it looks like. So as always, I look for Aegis. What kind of Aegis do we have? It is going to have to be with the Earth Bulwark weapon. So for some early benefits here, let's do something like this. Got a quick 4 Bulwark. If I can find one more, I can get the 5 Bulwark bonus and start getting reflective damage extremely quickly. Got the Earth bonus here as well, so my units are relatively tanky. But it looks like Illuvium Hunter has some pretty strong Illuvials already. We've got the hollowed out Nimble Links here. Nice finds there from Illuvium Hunter. And a Railu as well. He'll destroy me so far in this one. Mitigation, no. Damage amp, no. Mega, no. No. Just raw attack speed and move speed. Sure, let's go for it. I do not care about the Valente. I'll put my augments here instead. Have you three kind of partner up. Early on in the gameplay, I am completely expecting to get beaten down, and that is completely fine by me. Eventually, I gotta find Archie, level him up and evolve into Archos. Sword Art here in front of me is the only one that even has an Archie in general. So what this sets up for, I know a lot of people, or a couple people have told me that Bloom's not necessarily very, very good right now, but I'm stubborn and I don't care and I want to make it work. So I'm going to try and go for Bloom and Aegis, with the end goal being a Phosphorus. Okay, snooze. That penguin's already loaded up and looking rather nasty. Do something like this. Again, I'm not too worried about the Valentes. I'll take them off the board. I'll keep Nature Flish here as well, because there's always the potential of some sort of Bloom Harbinger because of the Nature Flish, which is not normally a combination that you can make. So I'll keep it here, but it relies on me actually finding Atlas, which right now I've not found a single one. Here's a little power spike, though. We do find a Lynx for ourselves. Of course, the Lynx, my favorite alluvial. After this round here, I would hard roll to get the fully evolved Lynx. I haven't been doing that over the last couple of weeks here, especially since this new patch started, or this last week or so. But if I see them, I will still collect them. And speaking of which, hello Archie, there you are. And hello Greater Monkir. Let's get ourselves situated. Some extra burst damage, why don't we, with Omnivamp? Yes, please. Some tank augments. Shield into resistances, sure, give that to Caribou. And then let's give the one where every time I get an Omega, I get some more attack speed. 1 level. Let's add Archie to the mix here. Give Caribou some backup alongside Groko, and also be the tank here for the Valente to start things off. That part wasn't intentional, but we'll gladly make it sound like it was. Hopefully, this buys enough time for my Ranger to get in position and just keep letting my Nimble Lynx keep going. Every time it fires off that Omega, it's getting more and more attack speed. And it's actually starting to go pretty quickly here. So we took a beating early, but finding this Lynx should let us win at least a couple of rounds. we've now hit the max threshold for interest, so I can start rolling in just a moment's time to try and finish some of my tier 1 alluvials. Like, I want to get Carablue up to Caradulo. I want to get Archie up to Archos. That'll give me the Aegis that I'm looking for, because I can then bind my Ranger to the... to the Archie, or to the Archos. And my poor Lynx is not going to be able to get through the TNT before the shot comes out, so we might still lose this one. Trippin is a level ahead of us here. And he's had just enough firepower to get the job done. Fair enough. And let's see what my chances look like. So yeah, Trippin has Caradulo, that's fine. Illuvium Hunter does have Archos. Sword Art does as well. But this isn't the cleanest of rolls here. I'll take the Gnarl, or not the Gnarl, the Cling. This gives me 5 Bulwark. Trade out Groko for Atlas. Take the Lynx, and then I'm kind of stuck just not getting anything right now. Archie's going to move up into a bit of an odd spot. And then this game is going to heavily rely on how long does it take for me to actually find Archie and evolve it into Archos. There have been games in the past where I've taken so much time to actually finish Archie, and so many credits to actually finish them, that I just end up dying. It doesn't happen too often, but it is something to be advised about when playing like this. Relying on a tier 1, I mean, usually tier 1s are there in abundance, but if somebody's hard rolling for them, that is a core part. You don't get Aegis otherwise, unless you find Blotto, which is so much harder to find. Potential of switching over and making the water variant of it. So, but somebody already has a... Rukron's already going for what looks like Umber. Damage reduction. Let's go for Omega Power when getting hit. Hey, come on, there's a Lynx again. We're finding Alfie before we even find Archies in this instance. There we go. Okay, one more Archie on the board. That's not bad. I'm about to get jumped on and murked, so let's kind of protect the Archie. Ranger is too damn fast. It actually moved out of the way of the rest of these. I was really hoping the Ranger was going to be the one to actually tank this Penguin. Now it is my Archie doing it. Definitely not optimal. The rest of these rogues should be able to push my rear in. Good on the Lynx to at least be able to get rid of the dash. Any elimination I can to just try and keep the damage low is critical here. Took a few off the board at least. Yeah, that could have been much worse. Empath Elder Surge, not a bad pick. Second Wind, not a bad pick either. Tier 4 units, I'm not hard focusing on a tier 4. Empath Elder Surge, I suppose will have to be it. To do something like that to make its heal a little bit stronger. We can make you an Empath and make you the tank. And we do find Archos. Okay. Huge W. We now have Aegis. So everything else will be put into levels. Optimally, we now need to get to level 8. Opposite. We find Bloom, actually. We can start getting Bloom online early. That is interesting. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and then some. Let's make a tank an Empath instead. Add Bloom to my Lynx. Lynx juiced by both the Ranger and the Archos. Archos can have a little bit more. In terms of Alluvials to join it, Gonna one-for-one trade Archie with Flare. And I'm going to add in maybe another Lynx just to dive bomb this this Furia, or this little Fury over here. And I still had another room, and then even Fleesh is going to join. Of course, with Bloom, my Bloom units are getting healing and damage increases every, I believe it's 8 seconds. We're able to take care of one, so it's the Ranger, and it's my Lynx up in the very northern side of this arena. You can see it's not meant to be a tank, but it's holding its own relatively decently. But neither of my Lynxes actually have been able to finish the job. So I'm still in a spot where I need to find a carry. 29 HP. Allies damage reduction, not necessarily. Healing, sure, let's go for that. Heady is huge, we do need Heady. Lynx, come back, let's get Ador in here as well. An additional bit of a safety net. We do have Ramfy coming in to join, it looks like. I am extremely low on health, so I'm going to level up one more time. There's one more flare. And just grab one more bit of damage here once again with the Lynx. Depending on how these rounds go, I might have to start rolling right after this. At least in this instance here, the Ramfy does some good damage, but nothing that can't be healed. Yeah, we might be getting shocked, but we're just healing through everything. This is alright. And at least I did not blow my entire gold load here. Still getting 5 interest. So Heady, I absolutely need you. There's a potential for Fury? Nobody's going for Scoriox right now. Okay, let's go. With a Scarabok showing up, I might do a trade. This is going to be a little bit scary, though. Big old dash coming on through here in just a second. There's the foe. That's the one I'm looking for. Let's clean the bench. We are going to now have a fully evolved Lynx, but of course that's not the main goal here of this comp. I still do have the Lynx doing a pretty good job, but it's eventually going to get shut down. A lot of low health bars. We just really need that big carry. The Lynx being fully evolved is going to help, but it is not going to be the end-all be-all as we get ready to get the later stages of this mid-game. Here's a spike and a half, though. Here we go. Okay. So Lynx, you're doing a fantastic job. I'm not going to take you out, but now we're going to change who is getting the Aegis buff. Boris is going to get it. We have 3 Bloom, which is awesome. And then we protect as best as we can here. Hopefully both of my Illuvials are going to be coming around the right-hand side. I did not take the Sinolf in mind here, though, from 200 ping drain. Hopefully we can still get the job done. This is going to hurt, though. This is going through 4 of my Illuvials. Archos does a decent job trying to heal. The Ador should hopefully be able to give me one more pump up here to keep my healers alive. Boris is low, but not enough to be taken down. Swarming the backline. Lynx is still extremely healthy. Now we just need to swarm down this rake. It's probably going to eat my tanks, and that's fine. But as soon as there's room, Forest and Lynx should be able to tear this apart. There it goes. Okay, Heady is now a Crunk. That's a nice big upgrade there as well for us. Not too bad. Let's pick up Scarabok, potential Goliath in the future. Do I want to corner comp myself a little bit here, I wonder? Part of me likes playing in the middle. There's some attack damage. Can I get the skull one? No, but I can get just the pure damage. Oh. Let's just make you as tanky as possible, regardless of the secondary effect. Forest, take this. Synergy. Get another fighter chip in here. Let's give it to the Lynx, actually. Can I get an emergency button? No, it's going to give me the sustain option instead. Let's do this. This way. Lynx, I see what you're doing there. You're not gonna dive me. Do I have any other low-level tanks? Not really. Okay. Bo is here. My attention is definitely split. It's a little unfortunate. Let's see with these augments, can my forest stay alive long enough to get the job done? This is a very tanky squad, but we're at least taking Rylu down rather quickly. Now there's 3 of them diving on through. This is not looking too good. If forest needs an elimination now, it is not going to find it. My Lynx died so fast. My forest died so fast. And I am probably going to end up dying pretty fast here into this game. Or I say fast. Oh, we're actually in the top 5, I think. Even by overtime timeout, I don't think we win this one. We will get knocked down here, but that is still a top 4. That is still in the points, so we will take it. Quick reboot. It's been a little bit since I rebooted, so I'm gonna quickly fix that up. Yeah, I had no idea that there was actually a season reset here today. But not a bad way to start things off. Definitely been having a harder time with Blue Mages as of late, but I still like the playstyle. Just getting completely beat on until you eventually find your supercharged units. Just loading back in real quick, which as I have the opportunity, of course. Again, big thank you to everybody tuning in so far. Hope again that you're having a fantastic day so far here today. Fantastic morning, fantastic evening, whatever have you. Plans for the next couple of days, of course, it's all Illuvium Pro League. It is the finals. The very first weekend of our grand finals is going to be happening on Saturday and I believe Sunday as well. That is going to be over on the Illuvium IO channel, whether that be Twitch, YouTube, X, and I believe Facebook is all having coverage of the IPL grand finals. You will see me there on their channel doing some commentary. Looking forward to seeing the season conclude. Setting up next weekend to see our complete final and to conclude the first season of the Illuvium Pro League. Our next second game, probably our last game here of today. Was that Abyssal Basin I saw? I think it might have been. Let's hope it's not the one where it gives you imprints right off the rip, because I'd rather play a composition that I know. But if I have to be flexible, then it is what it is. We'll try it. Let's see. No, not off the start. It's round 11 and 25. All right. This one I don't mind. The Abyssal Basin that I personally have a hard time with is the one that gives you augments right off the start. Because there's many times where he just throws me a rogue chip, and then as somebody that just doesn't play rogue, I tend to get absolutely demolished. At least to me personally, the fighting augment or the damage augment that gives you clumsy is still essentially a must pick. But at the same time, don't take that as gospel. Got my engine as well, so whenever to my attack I get some more energy. We can start off rather heavy fighter. Do something like this. See if we can catch the Valente on the way in. Actually, I'd probably rather the Lynx be in this position, wouldn't I? Yeah, optimally it should be the Lynx with the augments, but this might still be able to catch the Valente. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Just enough damage to actually take down my Flish. Meanwhile, the Lynx is still surviving. If it had those augments, it probably would have gotten at least one more. Live and learn. Optimizations. Okay, the bulwark is back. Can I find something else? I mean, there is a something else, but it's not Aegis. Somebody else already has the Emerling Rod. A little bit of Earth contesting, but I don't know. I kind of want to run it back. But maybe with a different bulwark weapon. Not going to happen. Let's go Emerling Rod then. That's not what I wanted. So we'll try this a little bit differently. I love playing Aegis, but just been having a little bit of bad luck here with the blue Magus over the last couple of rounds. Tried for something different, but I'm a-okay with the Emberling Rod. Still enjoy the Scion play as well. And I think even though my Ranger was unbounded, we might be able to still take the win here. Definitely not free, but very, very close. We got Luke Keats in this one of the players playing in the Grand Finals tomorrow. If you happen to be watching, good luck. Ranger, Smirnock, Control Alt Yeet, Wall Peak Weekly, Barabonk, and Sword Art once again. The healing is probably the way to go. Nope, Combat Rhythm. At least it would have been the way to go until Combat Rhythm showed up. Is this another rogue? Yes, it's the Water Rogue variant of Lynx. Still have my augments onto the Fleesh of all things. I was hoping that laser would go into the Nimble Lynx, but looks like my Doka was able to clean it up rather nicely. Another good shot there from the Fleesh. Gonna be a one-on-one with the Ranger. I think the Ranger wins this, though. As soon as it gets its big ol' shield, it's gonna happen right as the laser beam comes out. Gonna reflect a little bit of damage. Yeah, as soon as it starts auto-attacking, it's gonna kill me. There it goes. Archie is here. Totofi is here. Okay, Rai, have a seat. Chianti, come join. Lynx, you can stay out. Just get myself situated kind of like this. I wish I pulled back the Lynx ever so slightly. The potential for Invoker is there, but Granger here in front of me does make that a little bit difficult. They've already got Tianti, and the fact that they have another Totofi on the bench right now is signaling to me that they want to go for Invoker. And I'm not sure if I'm willing to race them. Have they already rolled? It looks like they have. That's a very, very low amount of income for this portion of the game. With my Nimble Lynx being now evolved, I can absolutely throw some augments onto my Lynx. And hopefully they can help me try to carry through some of this early game. The next part that I would want is just a little bit of a tank line. I've been basically playing without tanks so far here in this one. Get me the Empath Imprint. A lot of Lynxes off the rip. I don't need Rye anymore. Lynxes, Silkas, you can go. Possibility of Graco is still fine. Level up the once here. Can I get the emergency button? No, I get this one again, the snowballing variant again. Unfortunate. Then I will add a tank with Caribou in here. Guy out of the way. And we're going to be going directly for Smirnox's Lynx in just a second. That is a very, very tanky Axon, so that's kind of scary. A Caribou is going to get completely blown up, but here comes the shot from the Emberling Rod in a good position, some good damage. But again, with having no front line right now, this is kind of scary. Caribou just got blown up. Kofi with a decent shot. Can the Ranger get one more Emberling Rod shot? Make them nice and weak so that my Lynx can snowball? I think we can do it. There we go. That is one of the beautiful things about having melee units all converging onto an Emberling Rod Ranger, because they all clump up trying to beat you up, and you, in turn, blow them up. Sword Art with an extremely quick Nimble Hydra Lynx. Hello, beautiful. That is kind of a scary kitty. About to send my leash to the Shadow Realm, more than likely. I don't see a world where we actually win this one, but we'll try anyway. The difference between Sword Art and I, though, is that they are completely broke going for that play. They should 100% win this fight, but I should hopefully be able to kind of take it back in the long run here. If only I had an Axon, then I could have this thing as a Harbinger, and this would be a different story. That Ranger would have been much harder to deal with. When we blow up their Lynx, it was pretty close, but not enough. Alright, TNT is here. Speaking of Atlas, there you are. Lynx is here as well. Let's push one set of credits into Levelin. Leash, you've done well for now. Get ourselves Toxic. Bring Atlas on here. Lynx, you're not going to dive bomb directly into everybody. Please, no. Gonna come in late and go right after the mule. That's fine by me. Some low health bars, but we're kind of getting shut down a little bit. Can we get one more Omega off? We do. It's still sustaining. Get that kill shot. There we go. Of course, that purple augment on the right side of the Lynx. Every time we get an elimination, we heal 8% and get a little bit tankier. That Lynx should have been dead a long, long time ago, but it's going to sustain beautifully. And we take out the lobby leader in that fight, so there we go. Second Blossom, that is absolutely the one we take here. We also do find another Lynx and another tank. With Hetty being here, let's put them into the fray. Leave enough room for Atlas to get out. very squishy squad here from Control Alt Yeet, but that is a very high damage squad, so it is absolutely terrifying. Who has the TNTs again here? It's going to be Granger. How many did they find? They have another one, eh? Part of me could play risky and try to roll against that, but at the same time, I kind of want to just level and maybe start focusing on my other spellcasters. Although I am still missing Caradulo and I am still missing Axon. It might be worth it to do a roll here at level 6 to try and get those leveled up, because we might hang on to some of these fights, but it's not going to be very easily done. It's going to be another scenario where we're just going to be able to scrape by, barely. Not going to be able to get away with that for much longer. How many Caradulos are there? Still just 2. And Axons. 1 or 2. The Bulwark Imprint might be kind of nice. I think we go for Bulwark Imprint. What did I just get? Harbinger? Okay. Yeah, let's try and complete some of these evolutions. Sophie, I'll take you anyway if I'm gonna find you. That is brutal. I'm actually gonna find a Hetty. Probably not gonna end up using Archie, so let's just leave that there for now. Yeah, I'll have Harbinger without an Axon, which is really, really weird here. I want to have Axon. Then Mammoth is actually a fantastic choice as well. The way that this comp is looking, maybe even Flare is a good idea. Come on, just let me level up my tanks, please. Not the one I was expecting, but okay. Let's get Harbinger onto something here. Wildfire Harbinger? A little slow to get all my augments on. Let's get rid of this Alfie nice and quick here, please, Lynx. Thank you. Is there a world where Wildfire Harbinger can work? Frick, so I still really want to get my third Harbinger then with getting the Axon. I want to just be sitting here and leveling, but I feel like I'm falling behind. But then finding Crunk and finding the augments the way that it's been is actually not terrible. There's one Axon. Do I have room? Yeah, let's just... Do I want to... they can get if they wanted to. It is what it is. How much to level? 18? Finally going to end up finding it. Good lord. Okay, so 3 Harbinger Wildfire is now online. Now that we have that, I can actually look into start leveling up again. We're gonna get absolutely murked here by Luke Keats, though. I get one more shot here from the Ranger. Maybe take a couple of these units out. It's going right into the one that's gonna die. Oh, we get one at least. Okay, so it'll be about 16 credits to level. We'll do that, throw our Cling into the mix. This gives me now 4 nature. And more importantly, 5 bulwark. But I need some sort of area of sorts here. Up against Granger again, looks like. I'm more content throwing my links at the TNT rather than a Riptorus. Get to level 8. And one way or another, I think we find our carry there. I have the potential for 2 carries that could fit this, I think, okay. That, of course, being Fury, which I have one on the bench already. But even a Blastonite could work here. Halfway there to level 8. That Sinolf is definitely going to be problematic. Does have a little bit of Omega Power on top of it. Something like this. Hopefully it's just going to hit me and the... or hit me as in hit the Ranger and hit the Archos. I'm hoping there's enough of a spread on my tanks that this actually works out. We'll see in a minute. It does go through my flare. But everybody else is doing okay. Let's spread the fire. That's what I like to see. Next Sinolf shot's going to come out here in just a second. Can we blow up the front line? We do. TNT's still firing away as well. Axon's on their back line. Good timing with the shield as well. As that Emberling Rod was coming on out. My Lynx is gone, though. The Verdant Puddle is going to make this extremely annoying, especially since my Krunk can't actually get into the fight. It's just sitting there right inside that Sinolf beam, and we're going to take the hit for it. Burn has arrived. Wait until this NPC round is done. Level up to 8 in theory. And then from there, try to stay at 70 credits as long as I possibly can. But looking for Fur Knight, looking for Scoriox. Because right now, I see Furies, but I don't see even a Furiox. I don't see Ferns either, so I could probably be one of the first ones to actually start looking for these. Stacking or make it a tank? Considering the Sinolf, let's get tanky. One thing I did not also consider is Mammoth being here. Energy into Omega Power, we'll do that one. Let's mix these two. Now I get the emergency button. Do something like this. Furiox is here now. There's Fern, there's Flare. There is the Singe. There's a Fernite. And there is Cling. And Fury. We got a lot from that first little bit. Sword Art definitely has a strongish squad, but did their rolling early in the game punish them? They got that Lynx. I mean, it's doing a pretty decent job. It's a Phantom on top of that, if I think, yeah? So it's definitely scary, but I will be able to swarm it down. Does that happen to take Sword Art out? No, they'll live with 2. HP over time. Fighter. or max health. I think HP over time will go with this time. I think at this point, Lynx, you've done what you've needed to do. I thank you for your service. Knight, you join the squad. Give you this. Let's give you... Oh, that's not the one. Give you this. Let's give you a speed on Omega. Give Archos some additional speed at getting its Omega. See what we can do here. Where is the Emerling Rod shot? That one went absolutely nowhere. That polar bear is going to be problematic as per usual. But that's a good shot. The seed shot went directly towards a polar bear. I really wish I knew how the Emberling Rod targeting worked in this game. It feels so random to me. But in that instance, it was beautiful. Love to see it. Lynx, stick around just in case you evolve. We've got Furiox here too, eh? Could I potentially... I think there'd be more value if I did this, right? Do something like that. Bring Axon back here. In theory, Knight should be able to boost Furiox. Luke Keats, how are they on credits? They are extremely low. I am the richest one in this lobby right now. And not looking bad. That's a lot of carries, though, right in the carry's face. Knight, good support. Can we take care of this Furiox? Oh, not the Furiox, the Forest. We need that Harbinger Omnivamp right here, right now. That's what I'm looking for. And Luke Keats, I'm taking your foe. Of course, the later stage alluvials tend to be a little bit harder to find when contested. This one here versus Smirnock, we do have that Sinolf to deal with. Lynx is fully evolved. I will make it so that my Ranger, who has the bonus 1000 health from going for Omnivamp, is hopefully the one that takes this shot from the Sinolf. My Flare is going to eat it as well. But my carries do not eat it. And that's exactly what I was hoping for. Big shunt from the Mammoth, beautifully done. My Knight, though, moved into range of this Sinolf, though, so it'll take some decent shots, but it's actually going to interrupt. Isn't too bad. There we go. Now the Ranger going to take it once again. Stun into interrupt into Emberling Rod. That is exactly what we're loving to see. We do find another Furiox. Wall Peak is also going for it. How much do they have? They only have the one Furiox. Sword Art was also going for it, but they're gone. Pick up that, pick up Hetty as well. Actually, I'm not going for Aegis. Don't worry about Hetty. See. So bird. Snaky. So 2 away from finding the fully evolved of both of those. What do we get crate-wise? Burned and poisoned? I think so. 1 more Fern. There we go. Strike. Attack speed? Yes, please. Let's make you supportive with the clumsy. Give Furiox Machine Gun Furiox. Let's give Mammoth the resistances. Let's see if we can find a couple of these other ones. I'm taking the foe. There's... Yeah, we're gonna end up getting rid of the TNT. Not gonna get it for this round, but potentially can I find a fully evolved carry here? We do find... It's gonna be Blazonite, actually, we find first. Send-off beams are going into my ranger essentially by itself, so this isn't actually terrible. We will take down while peak weekly, and in fact, whoever they were playing up against also went down, which means we now have a bunch of Furioxes in the pool, which means we now have Wildfire, Magma, Scoriox, Blazonite. Start getting Mammoth online here as well. Luke Keats does not have any more foes. Okay. We can't dive in, I don't think. Isn't terrible. Where's my Megwas coming from? One on the back line, one on the front line. I'm not too disappointed with this current setup, or I think I like this setup quite a lot, actually. What I should have done is moved some of my energy regeneration to my Blazonites compared to my Archos. But let's see, maybe some quick heals can keep some of these Illuvials alive just a little bit longer. Get my good old shunt there, Mammoth. A lot of AoE damage, but my tank line did drop pretty quickly. Lukeet still might have enough damage to get this done. Turn on that forest, take it down, please. There it goes, we take them down, Lukeet is out of there. And they actually have the phosphor, so you know what? Okay, let's just sell these. Let's move these augments to the bird. Barabonk, this is a scary, scary squad. They have the mammoth, so you know what? These are only going to go into levels at this point here. What can I use? A fourth empath? Well, actually, hang on. Damage boost? Oh shit, damage loss! That's annoying. I went to go put the lesser app on in between the Blazonite and the Scoriox, but instead I actually removed my Blazonite from the fight, so it has no augments. We might still get away with it. Alright, I guess we're still gonna get away with it. Fox Oracle, what's good, buddy? And the fourth Harbinger. Let's get this one more time. There we go. So this is kind of what I wanted to do. Except Blazonite was not over here. It was kind of like here. Within range of both Scoriox and Blazonite. So it's getting a little boost. It might be just a little baby. It might be just a tier 1. But it's giving damage amplification to every alluvial around it. So as the magma, the wildfire, and the shots fly, we will tear through this lobby. I hope here I'm not going to be talking out of my rear. We still got the backline necessary. Mammoth is even still alive. And we take the lobby, wildfire, magma, with 4 Harbinger here on Abyssal Basin. I have no idea why I'm in the Kling suit, but I like it. That is a cool suit. Of course, shout out to all the alluvials making that one happen. Everything just kind of fell in my favor there. Was originally looking for Aegis, but we did not end up finding something other than Blue Magus, which, especially in hindsight here, if I was fighting Barabonk and fighting Granger for foes and Phosphoruses and Lukeets, I would not have made it up there. But in this case, nobody was going for Blazonite. I think maybe 1 or 2 people were going for Scoriox, but they got eliminated early. And we were absolutely able to crush it. So, here, you see that number 1 next to my name? You can blame me for that one. Let's go. Do I generally go with the flow with what the RNG gives you and trying to rank up? Or stick to plan, try choose a team? I have basically two teams or 2 styles that I play. So, it's kind of a mixture of both. Like this game in particular, I went into the game expecting to play Aegis. But the only Aegis that was available was one that I've been having a hard time pulling off lately. So when the Emberling Rod came up, that is my other team. If I don't do Aegis, I tend to do Scion. So, I went for the Scion instead. But I basically have 2 different playstyles that I can play. But in those 2 playstyles, I have maybe 7 teams that, or I showed 5, but I have about like 7 teams that I can personally play. This does make it so that I'm not as refined in each team, but it does have me very, very flexible. I know there are going to be people out there that say that that kind of playstyle is stupid. Just kind of pick 1 or 2 and kind of stick with that. And I pick 1 or 2 playstyles, not teams. Yeah, it's a little bit of a mixture of both. Like, I'm well practiced in 2 playstyles, but depending on what the RNG is giving me, what team I play within those playstyles can change. If that makes sense. So it's kind of both. But with that, we are just cracking at noon here, my time. Means it's time for the Illuvium 0 cooldown lap. Been a fun, productive day so far. No, hell didn't freeze over. It was absolutely burned through. One can say that wildfire magma completely torched it. And I'll gladly take the W there. Of course, with these plots yesterday, again, I did manage to get the Monarch, which was the last Tier 3 Alluvial that I needed for the collection. So I've got to level up all of these scanners now to level 4. That's going to take some time to do. But we can still go through them one final time. And Nibble Florlinx is going to show up here. Of course, it is a duplicate, but that is fine. So I'll put the rest of these scanners on hiatus, with the exception of my 1 Tier 5 scanner that I already have made. We'll send that one off. But otherwise, I need how much now? I need 120 Hyperion to get all my scanners to level 4. That's going to take a while. It'll be another 20 years to see my next one, huh? Maybe. Maybe. And then I think I'm actually going to put pause on research production while trying to get to these scanners. Otherwise, I'm blowing, what, 15? I'd be blowing, what, 45 fuel that would be potentially used for getting Hyperion. Yeah, the Illuvium 0 cooldown laps might be a little bit quicker for the next week or 2. But it's to get all the way up the Tier 4 scanners. Definitely a need. That's... Make sure all of these don't repeat when I send them through. And let's see if we can manage to scoop something. Actually, hey, we found Fernite. That's actually a Tier 4. Do I have Fernite already? I do, actually. Okay, so it's a duplicate. I thought I got lucky there and maybe got our Tier 4 collection started a little bit quicker. But no, I do already have Fernite. The rest of our blueprints are going to look like it's skunked so far. And our scanners hit another Monarch. Alright, we'll gladly take it. This will help improve finding a blueprint, making that a little bit faster. I'll gladly take that. Send off the Tier 5 and let it go. Yeah, definitely an interesting idea. I know you have you're full of ideas. And that is a good thing, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna knock you for it. The only thing that I will make note of is, sure, I've been playing for quite a while, but I still would not consider myself a pro, like competitor by any means. I have some basic knowledge, but there are definitely some professional players that would have stronger insights. That's why anytime I talk about a guide or some sort of like gameplay related thing, I always have to have a caveat that, hey, just a reminder, like I'm not a pro by any means. Alright, let's stop these blueprints as well. Scanners, can I happen to find another tier 4 off that one? We'll have to see. A whole lot of nothing here in this plot. That's unfortunate. Still do have my tier 5 scanner here. I'll send that one off. But then everything else needs to go towards scooping up this Hyperion. Getting every scanner up to level 4 is probably going to take a week or two at least to do. But of course, as every scanner levels up to 4, I can at least start sending them off. I won't wait until all of them are completed to start doing that. Oh, 100%, that sounds like a great idea there, Fox. There was a season where I was top 100. I think 2 seasons ago I was, or at least I tapped into it. I don't think I finished in the top 100. So in that regard, saying that this is a top 500 or a top 100 player's opinion is definitely an avenue that I could go. But at the same time, I'm not going to be foolish and say that the player size probably is a portion of why I am like that. All it takes is some more experienced, seasoned esports players to come on through, and I'm sure I would be ousted extremely quickly. Or I'm just playing myself down. That isn't uncommon, to be fair. Okay, scanner time. And these final blueprints. Last piece of land that does have blueprints and scanners. Last couple of lots definitely skunked me. Let's see if it'll be the same thing. We actually will get ourselves the Greater Monkier Mozart. Let's hop on over. Where did I have that? Greater Monkier. Right here, then the Mozart skin. Okay, we'll make that check mark all the way down here on the right-hand side. There we go. I still need the suit, though, in order to complete the combo. So we're not quite done with Greater Monkier, but that'll probably be it for now until I start getting these scanners going. Unless... Damn, that would have been really cool if that worked. And our final scan, not going to show up with anything. And this plot does not have a tier 5, I don't think. No, it does not. So we shall start pumping up the Hyperion once again. Play myself down? Maybe. You see, I have a very, very terrible mindset about something in particular. Ever since I think I was 13, it was quite a long time ago. But any time, it actually started with broomball, oddly enough. So when I was 13 playing broomball, I always had this mindset where there's a quote I would say to myself: if I'm the best at something, then something is wrong. And I've hold that even still to this day. That if I'm the best at something, there's definitely something wrong. I've turned that now into a point where if I'm the best at something, something is wrong because it means I have nobody to learn off of. But back in the day, that is not at all what it meant. It was much darker than that. So when I was playing broomball, and I was the captain and a center of an upstart team, I knew that if I'm the captain, if I'm the one in center ice, then this team really sucked at scouting, if you know what I mean. I swear to God, Kier. Of course, those that may not be aware, broomball is basically just hockey, but you're running on the ice instead. But yeah, that kind of mindset definitely stuck with me and still sticks with me. Granted, at least now I try to spin it around a little bit more positively. But it definitely did not used to always be. So when I think of myself in a position of, not a position of power, but like in a position of wisdom or experience, I still get taken aback, for example. Like, if I'm told that, if I was told that I was the best streamer of Illuvium, I'd be like, no, there's all of this. Let's be honest. There's people who've been doing this way longer than I have. I'm the best commentator. Absolutely, God, no. I do not take compliments very, very well. I do appreciate them still, don't get me wrong. I just naturally beat myself up a little bit. So yeah, like, oh, you're top 100 in the game, aren't you? It's like, well, I guess, but it's a low player base, so of course I am. It's not because I'm good. Drake, I definitely thank you very, very much, and Gear, go screw yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I actually know you, so I can do that. And that's a good way to put it, Fox. Yeah, like, I definitely appreciate that big time. And I can agree that I'm probably in the top 10 streamers for Illuvium. Because how many of us are actually out there? And how many of us are actually doing it consistently? So, fair enough there. And then top 5 commentators, I'll definitely take it because there's probably 5 commentators for Illuvium. See, I'm always turning this against me. What are friends if they don't roast you? Absolutely, Gear. Yeah, 100%. It doesn't bother me. I'd let you know if something was actually a problem. And that's why you're here, Drake. Awesome. I'm definitely extremely thankful. Extremely, extremely thankful. Oh, all my passive fuel is done here for this one. Of course, though, this plot is not actually being used. Why did it give me 2? Oh, that was passive. Okay. Send these off. I still need... I've been trying for at least a week or 2 to get this dang Archie to actually give me a blueprint so I could finally finish this video. I got it on the first scan, but it's taken like 2 weeks to give me a damn blueprint. I'm getting cooked there. But Fox, I'm definitely extremely thankful, and I'm honored that I inspire you. And yeah, literally, I can tell just based off of the way that you talk that like we're in this spot where we're in a bit of paralysis of analysis, because you have good ideas. It's just a matter of hitting start record, start stream. That is the only thing that's really stopping. And if there's one quote that I keep seeing on Twitter, and it's something that I follow at least personally, just make it good later. And then get yourself out there, get yourself used to the process of just making content consistently, and you'll naturally start improving the little quality things. I don't care if you have a $50 microphone that you just happen to pick up off of Amazon, or a TV monitor that doesn't even play 720p video. That's all stuff that could be easily improved. Just get into the process. One content creator and commentary miss, dude, yeah. I miss Total Biscuit as well, 100%. That's definitely someone I wish was still around. I'm sure they would have lots to say on gaming as a whole, let alone the esports side of things. Definitely a creator I miss. In the same regard, there's a StarCraft creator called In Control, who I also miss very, very much. And there was even this one creator did a lot of like Nintendo and anime stuff named Etika, is one that I still I miss very much so. Unfortunately, no longer with us, but his energy was absolutely impeccable. Yes, 100%. I absolutely watched the heck out of those back in the day as well. Yeah, we've got plenty of great creators and plenty of people to be inspired. But I know even personally, one way or another, just get out there and get creating. It'll get good later. I know personally even as well, I basically had the opportunity to do this twice. Of course, I started with esports back when StarCraft 2 was a thing. I started commentating myself, my own games, since 2010. I reached out to local lands to commentate their StarCraft and eventually their League of Legends things. And then that eventually turned it into a full-time job for me as a streamer and producer for Saints Gaming CA, which is basically a top 5 in the world college esports team. And even still, once I eventually left that, it was so hard to actually start streaming myself. I've been doing this for years. It was still so hard. I know personally I actually had to come back as a VTuber because I was so anxious about having my face back out there, creating stuff for myself and something not a part of a company. And that's not to be a shot at the company or anything by any means, but just everything I did was always for someone. It was always for a business. It was always for like a team. That little portion of time where I kind of got started, I needed to go back to that. So when it started being streaming now, I need to remember how to stream for me and to stream for a general community. And that took me a long time. I left in February of 2025. It took me till the 4th of July. It took me months to get over that and get started. In that process, I did not ask for permission from anybody for anything. There was the Leviathan tournament, I think that happened with Illuvium in, August? I streamed that. I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. I didn't ask for permission. I didn't care if Illuvium had their own stream going. I was commentating it. What happened? They tried to stream it. The person who was trying to stream it was also the tournament organizer. They couldn't keep up. They couldn't stream. All of a sudden, hey, this guy's streaming. I put myself in the right position. Much like trying to find the Illuvials on the bench, as we get into the game, you're trying to find your carry. It isn't guaranteed, but you can put yourself in the best position, keep rolling for chances, and every stream you do is another roll. Eventually, you'll find your stage 3. Eventually, you'll find your 3-star. You can absolutely crush it. In terms of a dedicated meeting, it's always potential. It's something that we can talk about off stream, Fox, 100%. Not going to guarantee anything, but I would gladly leave my feedback in a professional manner. The Saints were the first college esports team in Canada. I'm not sure about worldwide, but it was definitely one of the first. And then, yes, eventually you roll the nat 20. You get the crit, right? You find the moment. And then because of those moments, like, for example, doing the Leviathan tournament streaming, again, just by myself, when the Illuvium Pro League was announced, they're looking for commentators, and who was out there doing commentary already? Right here. Who was already there. And there's so many people, like, there was one person on X recently that had posted on an Illuvium short. Said something about along the lines of, like, hey, I want to be a commentator one day. Does Illuvium need a Chinese commentator? I don't see any right now. Don't ask. Just do it, right? Just go for it. Because that could 100% be what gets you on the radar and gets you into the shop, so to speak, and could eventually start getting rolled on, and you'll eventually potentially be needed. If you see there's the opportunity with there being no Chinese Illuvium commentators, this means you are the #1 Chinese commentator right now. And if there's somebody who's looking to do something in Illuvium in Chinese, you are the go-ahead. And that's why I try to pump out as much stuff as I can. I stream as consistent as I can, regardless of if there's anything new really happening in Illuvium. Because if I go to YouTube right now, give me a second here. If I go to Illuvium on YouTube right now and just type it in. The Illuvium Pro League is the majority of it, of course. It's from Illuvium themselves. But let's see. I'm a gamer, not a crypto bro. I'm a gamer looking to learn about this cool game, this cool up-and-coming game, Illuvium. I see the Pro League. This is fantastic. Okay, this is from Illuvium themselves. I'm glad they sponsor their own tournaments, but what about the game itself? This is in regards to, or some older stuff, some older interviews. You can still learn about the game. That's good. That's good. You've got a bunch of shorts, but even in the shorts, it's all the coin. It's all crypto. The only exception is Scoriox now. Because Scoriox, even still, does have a little bit of the crypto mindset as well with the gaming, and that is a good thing because there's people who are going to be interested and want to know about that, 100%. But Scoriox is also bouncing between Web3 game to Web3 game. Then the next thing, the biggest thing with Illuvium, it's someone literally talking crap about the first little bit of Illuvium's lifetime. Some old interviews, staking, coin, an old trailer from years ago, coin. If I do the filter to say this week, we've got all the shorts because the Illuvium marketing intern's been going nuts right now with posting shorts, and I love that, by the way. That's great. Play to earn. Anyone who can... This was about the tournament, so fair enough. I'm not going to give Scoriox hell about that. No, that was about the IPL. That's A-okay. Got a couple of shorts, but let's look for videos. We got some staking stuff. We have some newer streamers, and that's absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Then we've got tournaments. We've got some smaller streamers, which is good, but got staking. We have some scrims. Oh, Slooper's here. Let's go, Slooper. But you can see, there's basically next to nothing. I am very, very surprised that I didn't run across myself in this instance here, but again, you can see my shorts. But as you can see, there's not much, and majority of what is here is all coin-based. So you have Illuvium themselves, you have Scoriox, and in terms of purely gameplay, you have me. No wonder, like this is not meant to sound egotistical, but no wonder when, like, people are searching stuff that my stuff eventually gets shown. And I'm shown as, like, I guess, one of the top Illuvium creators, because other than some shorts here with, like, say, Fighting Crypto, who else is doing it? I am very surprised that none of my stuff showed up there, but it is... Yeah, Drake, exactly, right? And it's like, I don't make the best top-of-the-line, high-quality videos. But I make videos. I don't have the most high-quality, top-of-the-line streams, especially as somebody who's worked in a studio for esports before. I can have much higher productions if I invested into it, but I don't have said money to invest. That does not matter. I still have something out there. So, this isn't just meant for Fox. This is literally for anybody that wants to get into Illuvium right now. Much like getting your Illuvio collection early here, so that you'll have a collection that isn't going to be extinct when we go into set 2, or at least harder to find when we go into set 2. You can make stuff now, and my strategy about all of this, as I get green screen snow once again here on the broadcast, Exhibit A of lack of quality, but get your content started now, because God forbid, if and when Illuvium explodes, becomes mainstream like Kieran and the rest of the developers are working their ass off to try and do, people are going to be looking for it, and people are going to notice those bandwagoning people that show up once the MMO's released. All the people quickly trying in to make content for it now. All the people that are going to quickly try and dive in and talk about, oh, how much can you earn from this game? Can this make a living? Is this going to be my financial freedom? All those people are going to come and go. But people are going to search up other creators and realize, wow, they've been doing this for years. So even why right now my channel has 70 some odd subscribers, I think, majority of people would say, you've been streaming since July. You've been making content since July, and you only have 70 subscribers? You're a failure. But I do not see it that way. I am sitting in an early round of the arena with max interest. Eventually, in the late game, this will be worth it. And that's why I see it. That's why I don't get upset. I'm enjoying my time. This community has been so welcoming. And that, to me, is so much bigger than just a little number going up or down, or a little number that says views. Heck, even searching myself under Illuvium and not seeing one of my videos on the exception of shorts. That's okay. I'm in position. And I'm extremely happy to be doing what I do. Yeah, you want to be already established or the point of explosion. They want to know that you're not just a bandwagoner, trying to hit the next game, trying to find the next game that is supposed to give you financial freedom. They want to know that you actually enjoy the game and enjoy the community for them first. Not because of what they're getting out of it, but it's because they actually like it. Yes? Here, good love. Yeah, that story time was silent. I guess that took a little bit of a an extension of sorts. I still have a plot to do. Yeah, why do they care? I mean, exactly. People will people go out of their way to give negativity sometimes, which is unfortunate. And people need real high quality players that are invested 100%. Not a great idea. Who's exploding? Apparently I'm exploding here. Every once in a while I do get the opportunity to talk to Terran, but it's not to the point where I can just fire off ideas, so to speak. No, 100% is a very, very busy guy, though, so please do keep that in mind. Holy smokes, my green screen's really going nuts. But hey, if all things today, if the only technical issue is just a little bit of green screen snow today, I guess let this be just an example of hard work and trying. And if this is the craziest technical problem I'm having today, it's not the end of the world. At least I'm not disconnecting over and over again. Am I ever going to join an Illuvium guild? I've been invited many, many times. But the thing is, I'm not necessarily sure how I make things better for a guild, and with how I personally am, I'm not sure if it's necessarily worth putting off other individuals to then say, like, I'm exclusive with said guild. Like, here, I'll explain in just a second here. Like, we're very, very lucky right now in Illuvium that all of our guilds basically get along with each other. Like, OLA will work with Hype, Phantom will work with Hype and whatnot, Guild will work with other guilds. Like, it's a-okay, it's completely fine. But I imagine as more and more people start to get involved, people are going to start taking their teams much, much more seriously, up close and uptight. And I'll get to that in just a second. Absolutely, Gear. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I'll talk to you in a little bit. The season's almost over. I look forward to board games sometime soon. But at least right now, like, all of our guilds are cooperative with each other. But I imagine eventually, as Illuvium gets more and more serious, and especially if things go down the route that I want in particular, where the Illuvium Pro League becomes Leviathan, I imagine that people will eventually start getting a little bit more cutthroat. And I do worry if I show up there with, on commentary, silent hype, that I'm going to put off everybody else that may not be a fan of hype. So as a commentator, I do absolutely try to stay as neutral as possible here, unless there is something worth it enough to keep me, like, to take that bias, so to speak. So I will absolutely stay neutral, and I absolutely thank you for the invite to Phantom and whatnot, for example, for as well. Yeah, love talking and working with you, and working with Paz, for example, another fellow Phantom. And it doesn't mean that I won't work with them, it just means I'm not going to be exclusive, so to speak. Like, I might be in Hype's Discord. I might chat with them every once in a while talking about, like, IPL stuff, and maybe ask a couple questions here and there. But in terms of the confidential stuff, I don't go for it. And it'll be the same thing for all the other teams as well. Guild, Phantom, Wall A. I'm definitely open to anything. I'm happy to work with every single team, and I just don't want to be put into a position where it feels like I can't work with one team because I'm on part of another, if that makes sense. But yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely join the Discord. I'm definitely down for that. Almost time for fun times here with this plot in particular. Right around the corner from getting Nexus level 9. Okay, so basically, by Monday's stream, this will be done. But what do I want to do for this plot in the meantime? I have this set up, so I can move things around and I can put, eventually, training gems into it. But I don't want to make this a tier 1 fuel farm, because let's be honest, that doesn't generate that much. I'm very, very close to completing my biodata and blueprint collection already. I don't want to start another plot collecting biodata from scratch again just to research it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this plot in the meantime. When Training Gems comes out, sure, I'll 100% dedicate that to this, but I do not know how long that's going to be. Is there anything else I really need to do right now? I think I was trying to upgrade, well, maybe not. I lose track of what I was trying to do over and over again. I think upgrading the Quantum Fab is probably what I'm going to end up going for next. Guess we can start saving up for that. Start doing that. And then because some of these plants are bugging me, I'll just trim some of the plants up. And I think that we will chill for a couple more moments before closing out here for today. Do I have a guide for plot setup? I got one coming, kind of. So the plot that I was at here, my small tier 1 Brightland Steps one, this plot was purchased and made with the intent to see from day 1, how long does it take for me to get my first blueprint from a completely started from scratch land. I'm going to make that my guide as well to Illuvium 0, going over all the things from pathway efficiencies to gathering fuel, to what your objectives should be. All of that will be a part of that video. I am just missing one final piece of the video, and it's getting the damn blueprint. This Archie has been so stubborn. It will not give me a blueprint. But as soon as it does, then technically the video is completed. I got a content idea about a guest speaker on stream from a new guild each month. It depends if there's a point to it. Like, with most of my streams, I like to have a goal or an objective going into it. So it could be something as simple as I'm going into an overworld run to try and find an Exodon, or I'm going into an overworld run for basically any alluvials at this point. I then want to go into Illuvium Ranked, do a game there, then I want to do Illuvium 0. I take that very, very similarly to this idea here. I would love to have a guest speaker on, but why am I going to have the guest speaker on? If it's just for just chatting, just hanging out, there's no topics to really truly be talked about, then there's no purpose other than just hanging out. If it gets to the point where I'm in the Illuvium MMO, like I'll use Fox I'll use as an example. If there becomes a time where the Illuvium MMO comes out in a streamable format, multiplayer, where you and I could link up and do an objective, do a raid, or do some capturing together, and then we're just chatting as it's happening, there's a perfect purpose. But for me to just have a guest speaker on, for example, say while I'm doing this, I'm just sitting here chilling with a guest speaker with no topic, it's not an interview or anything like that really in mind, then it doesn't make sense to me personally. Not that I don't want to, but for the sake of, like, the stream and for the sake of entertainment, I need to build this up as best as I can like a show. But if the show has no goal, then it doesn't make sense. Off stream, by all means, anything goes. Oh, all right. With that, the plots are all situated for now, which means stream-wise, I am all situated here, or right here, right now, unless there's any sort of final questions by any means, as I quickly go through, I guess, the schedule for the weekend. We're starting extremely early. I know I gotta wake up for 7, get the kids situated, and then by 8 o'clock, I'm live with Paz and with Caveman for the Illuvium Pro League Grand Finals. Going to be happening on the Illuvium IO Twitch, YouTube, X, and Facebook channels. That's 8 o'clock in the morning, my time. I'm not 100% sure if that is UTC. I think that's 2 p.m., 1 p.m. UTC. It's something like that, one along those lines. So I'll be on Illuvium's channel there. I believe that is for both Saturday and Sunday. Then Monday, we'll be right back here once again. We'll probably go over the Illuvium Pro League, the activities from the weekend that had just passed, see who's still in, and then probably do a little bit more of the same with a little bit of a Illuvium Overworld collection. Maybe we finally step into a Tier 2 to try and find Malura, because that is still something that I have not gotten in one of my own collections. And I know we probably still have a little bit of time with the Overworld in the state that it currently is in, but it's probably not that long. 100% I need to eat soon. My wife reminding me, hey, you gotta eat before we get moving here, so that shall be the end of things for the time being. We'll have our stream Monday, of course, going over IPL and Overworld, and do some ranked as well. Maybe wrap up the rest of my promotional games if I have not done so already, and go from there. As always, big thank you to everybody who tuned in here today. It was awesome having you on board. Awesome seeing the chat. I love all the questions, love all the comments. It definitely makes me feel connected, and I appreciate and love the fact that everybody is so welcoming here for me. Even when I get personal, even when technical issues happen, I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. So until then, I will see you on the weekend for the Illuvium Pro League, and then on Monday, right back here on my channel for our regularly scheduled stream. Thank you once again. I'll see you then.